Hi, it's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make these beautiful fall birthday cupcakes. I'm using my classic Italian meringue buttercream recipe as well as my classic vanilla cake recipe that I always like to use. It is not my personal vanilla cake recipe, it's just one that I found that I absolutely love. This style of cupcake is one that I've seen going around on Instagram. They're super popular, and I also wanted to throw in some classic florals as well. Now what I'm doing here is I'm placing 2 colors in cling wrap and then wrapping it up and putting it directly into my piping bag. I'm sorry that I don't get a very clear and close-up look of what tips I'm using today, so I'm going to put all of the tips that I'm using down in the description box below. This is just a classic petal tip where one end is kind of thinner than the bottom end. And you want to make sure that you put the thicker bottom end down towards the cupcake and the thinner end up towards the ceiling. And all you're doing to create this is you're making rainbow shapes all the way around. It's really important that you squeeze the piping bag with even pressure. If you do too much too fast, then you're gonna end up with kind of curly ends. And if you do it too slow, then it might break apart. What I'm making here is another flower. Now, I am by no means a floral expert, so I don't actually know all the names of these flowers, but with this petal tip, it's basically just a curved petal tip, and I'm just squeezing it and then lifting up, and then I stop squeezing when I want that petal to end. And really, when it comes to flowers, it's all about the placement of where you start the petal. So with this one, you want to make sure that you're overlapping to give it that nice floral look. I will also say that this particular tip is a lot smaller than the tip that I was using previously for the rose. I like using these tips because I can get smaller, finer details, and I can also switch these on and off since I have the smaller couplers that allows me to change the tip. This tip that I'm using now is like a petal tip. I generally use this for succulents because they have a nice straight edge and there is no curve to it, and there's also no tapering to it as well. So all you're doing is holding that piping tip up and down, and then again doing those small little rainbow arcs to create the little rose or succulent, whatever you want to call it. I start with the roses on all of these and then I add in all of the little details because it's a lot easier to add in the details than add in the rose afterwards. So all I'm doing is adding little rosettes, and then I'm taking that straight edge, leaving it up and down, and just waving it back and forth. For a rosette, it's super easy. You start in the center, even pressure all the way around. And again, I love these types of things because they're so versatile. I'm doing a very fall theme here, which would be perfect for Thanksgiving, since that's coming up for us Canadians. But if you wanted to do this for something else, you could easily change the colorings to match whatever the occasion calls for. This is my very first time ever using a Sultan tip, and basically what it does is it creates a hole in the center for you. I thought this would be perfect to place a beautiful rose in the middle. If you want to make things super simple, this is a really easy flower to do. Now, one of the reasons I do use Italian meringue buttercream is I find that it holds up a lot better with florals than American buttercream. With American buttercream, I find you have to fiddle around with it to get it just right, but with Italian meringue buttercream, it holds its shape. This is your time to be creative. Just let it flow. I love it when things look a little bit different, but all follow the same color palette. It really makes things look ultra special, and also people will love to choose which cupcake they get. Add on whatever sprinkles and decor you see fit. Of course, I'm going to be adding on all of these golden pearls. I really want to give that fall flavor to these cupcakes. You could sprinkle these all over the place, but I'm actually aiming for the ends of the rosettes. I just find that gives it a really nice, beautiful, cohesive look. If you want to up the value of these cupcakes even further, then go ahead and add some gold leaf. I always use a chopstick because I find it gives me the most control and it prevents anything from sticking to me. This part happens very, very quickly. So I'm just showing you what I do with leftover buttercream whenever I have it. I pipe it out onto a piece of parchment paper in whatever shapes I want. Sometimes I will just store the buttercream as is, but I don't know if I'm going to be using this color again for that. So that's why I'm just piping them into nice roses right onto the parchment paper, and then I'm going to stick these into the freezer, and then I'm going to use these whenever I see fit. You might notice that my lighting is always a little bit different once we get to this shot. I often film at night now, and because the sun is going down a lot sooner, I don't get that beautiful beauty shot right away, so I wait until the morning to shoot this. So let's get into the pricing of this. Now keep in mind your pricing is very personal, so this is just a general guide of how I would price. If these were a stock order, I would charge $4 Canadian. And if they were a custom order, I would charge $5 Canadian each. Butter is a little bit more expensive where I live, so I do factor that into the price. I also keep in mind that this technique is not something that everyone can do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye! Oh, and I also forgot to mention, thank you so much for the 1,000 subscribers that come here and watch my videos. And don't worry, I'm going to make a special video dedicated to all of my lovely subscribers.